Minus the mazel tov, the melancholy mask is on. The matrix turns to marathon for those who are masculine, and God forbid if melanin is showing through your epiderm. You consider it epidemic, public enemy one. This manuscript is written on the membrane of a Macedon. Prehistoric pantheons will never die. Carry on, caravans of canons, Moabites and Seance. The oppressors prey on and look for ground to lay on. Then get bit by a lion, Judah, a lion. These words get sprayed on the wall that fate's on. When the ship come, we phase on. The shift is a phaeton. The burden weighed a ton and suddenly is gone. Yeah, it's the subtle things that make your Aki's heart sing. The bellows from the diaphragm where honey's made from bees' wings. The laughter of a child brings some balance to the bloodstream. When war is at your front door, some peace is a welcome thing. It's the subtle things that make your Aki's heart sing. Aquatic drips from full springs from under earth where life cleans. Better than ever, the word in every endeavor. Better than clever, the truth is wisdom ever. If you should doubt it and attempt to count it, just know that this is powered by the force no time devours. No army cowers, no hate can sour. Cause on this hour, the seed flowers. Before the switching of scenes, let's hope that life finds its means. Allegiance to the right team. The murky water's now clean. The darkened path is now seen. The subtle things are now gleaned. The hero conquers the fiend. Ballast achieved on the beam. As this discovered in a time capsule in future times. Just know in this era there existed an enlightened mind. He carried water and within his essence was divine. Seated 3 daughters and the sun whose brilliant lights would shine. This type of light, let's be honest, is a rare kind. He aged gracefully, not hastily, fine wine. The word is arguably the artistry of the Arcanine. Articulate armory in the arteries is aquanine. Aboard to authorities with alliances, the sciences, defiances, the answers to truly finding this. Ein is first, Ein soft second, Ein soft earth. Check it for the record, he is vested, he is tested. Gold a product from the dark, wet, ingested. Mic check it, 1, 2, bipedal. Babes and fetals, prodded with needles, protected nightly by scarab beetles. Not John, Paul, or Ringo, peep the lingo. Awakened souls moving step like the rhythms equal. Beautiful flowers growing up from fecal. Matters not if not approved by the people. The word. Feeling like Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. They want me to lose my balance like I got vertigo. It's vertical that I go to, I touch the cervical. Spine, my mind, oh my, better than apple pie. A Mac systems, the word catch rhythm. Spaz out when flutes play, empty space fill 'em with bars that fragment like glass prisms. If they want the game, here's some fair, go and get 'em. But I promise you the tongue is a sword, might split 'em. Infuse the source in you with the first breath blue. There's fire in my shoes on top of my head too. It can warm, it can light or burn, it's up to you. The book's red like oxidized iron, the crook's blade. The blade pointed, pencil in hand, the beast fed. The bull stops here, I grip horns and get ahead. Left the carcass in the mountains of the Caucasus. The consequences of dabbling in metropolises. The city's opposites live the life of opulence. While the chosen, the few, is rather obvious when flutes play. When flutes play. Yeah. When flutes play, they say the feet move like Pele. Sharp knife fillet. When the words spit finay. When flutes play, they say the feet move like Pele. Sharp knife fillet. When the words spit finay. You may ask, Jamal, why you speaking such coded metaphor? My reply so I can let hot air pass like a matador. My math's a cure for the unaccounted for pure, who lost the jewel but confined to fraudulent source. The smell is hell, but you be amazed what manure can spark life in. When the odds ain't right, then seed still finds miraculous ways to grow at night. Sin is the move of primal ocean. Sit round 80 BPM so I can go in. Fire hit, water smoking. Every word spoken is a token to mend what has been broken. The flute melody floating. Something bubbling in the pot, lethal potion. Sniff, get a whiff, it's a gift. Him most high, most fly, most shy. I am that I am with a clear eye. The word. Oh, there we go. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Mic check. Got a lot of noise in the house, so I'm trying to make sure I can hear myself. Peace, Tiffany. Thank you. Peace to everybody. Peace, Black Butterfly. Peace, Sister Akana. Shade, Detroit in the house. Peace, Wise. Congratulations, Wise. Newlywed. All right. We are back for impromptu conversation. I'm really excited today. Really excited in spite of the day starting out with challenges. And I want to fill you in on the challenges. But first, today's date is October 28th, 2025. And it is Scorpio season. And it is one hell of a Scorpio season unfolding. So I wanted to kind of do an overview of this energy and give some personal reflections. Now, I'm a pretty personal, private person. You know, I only share what I want to share, but I think I need to share this today. Okay. So last year, I'm going to back up from the mic. I'm going to show. So last year I showed this shirt. And I said that this shirt is it's in one regard, it's a computer, a master computer. Today, we're going to, in the midst of this discussion, we're going to break down this shirt because I got something phenomenal to share. It was, it's irritating on one level. It's phenomenal on a human level. It's irritating on a deeper, I don't want to say etheric, but on an all level, it's phenomenal. Okay. So this shirt, this is how it's hooked up. So these are one of my designs that I'm going to be releasing very soon. And the alternative design is this one. Okay. And this is called 13 God. 13 God. Now, there are several things infused into this symbology. The number 13, we were raised to interpret as unlucky or malefic, right? There's no 13th floor on the elevator. All of that helps to seed into the subconscious. Peace, God, science. All of this helps to seed into the consciousness that 13 is evil or unlucky or bad. My generation in our childhood, we were introduced, that was really ingrained because in our childhood, while Pluto was in Scorpio, which is the era of the most prolific era or decade of horror movies. Jason, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are the main ones. I mean, it's a bunch more, but those may be the two most prevalent movies that come up when we talk about horror movies in the 80s. And we know we got others, and y'all can name them in the comment section. But specifically Friday the 13th, that really helped push that message that 13 is evil and unlucky, right? Well, if you think about it from a Judeo-Christian aspect or just from a metaphysical, right? If there are 12 tribes or there are 12 disciples, and you look at the Last Supper where there are 13 people in the picture, and those 12 disciples are moving around a centerpiece, and that centerpiece is the one, but it's also the 13. Now, this design here is invigorating the true essence of 13. It's 13 people watching right now. For me, my sun is at 13 degrees of Aquarius. I have Saturn at 13 degrees of Leo. My uncle, my paternal uncle, was born on the 13th of February. My sister, God rest her soul, was born on the 13th of December. So the 13s have been around me, just waiting for me to come into this realization. Thank you, Wise. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. So this design here comes from years of study that finally culminated into a realization. In studying, just lightly studying Hebrew. I never claimed to be no Hebrew authority or whatever, but I like to learn a lot about a lot of things. So this is a master computer here that I'm wearing. It is spelling out the word one in Hebrew, which is Akid. You'll see. Ket, Dalet. Aleph, Ket, Dalet. That's the Hebrew word for one. But if you know a little bit about Hebrew, you know that, peace, Christine. If you know a little bit about Hebrew, you know that the letters have a numeric value, or what we call gematria. And those numeric values are giving you resonance codes. It's telling you what that letter is resonating at, what frequency, right? So when we take the Hebrew word for one, which is Akid, Aleph, Ket, and Dalet add up to 13. So like I said, you got 12 disciples and then you have one, but that one is also 13. Now I also have on this shirt a bait
a hey, and a va. Bait, hey, va.
That is bohu. Now, bohu is, where's my, let's go to Genesis. In Genesis, bohu appears. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Well, void is bohu. Now, bohu as void, I'm going to go to one of my little sources here. I'm going to give this one up for y'all who do read. This is the Hebraic tongue restored. All right. Hebrew, this is a French Hebrew scholar from, I think this was 19th century. Okay. It says bohu depicts the noise made by a thing being opened, and which representing it yawning, offers to the imagination the idea of a chasm, an abyss. Now it says an abyss is a thing whose depth cannot be fathomed physically as well as morally. Okay. So bohu as a void is talking about a 0 point. Now, a 0 point, when we say the word chaos, we typically think of many times something negative. Chaos is something bad, or things are going haywire, right? But what chaos is, when we really look at it etymologically, chaos is talking about a place of full convergence where all timelines meet. Everything is occurring all at one time. It's called 0 point. It's called scalar energy. Okay. The word, the gums in your mouth, the word gum comes from the word chaos. So even within our physical vessel, this reality is contained, that chaos is inevitably encoded just into our human vessel. And out of the gums comes the dent, the denture, the teeth. Den means teeth. And so Aden, Eden, Adam. The teeth is what emerge out of the chaos. The teeth would be things that are formed. They are material. They are 3D reality that comes out of something where all things are converging within the gums, chaos. So in that sense, the bohu, which bait, hey, va, bait is 2, hey is 5, va is 6. That adds up to 13. And there's the Kabbalistic phrase, from the nothing comes the absolute. That's what this shirt also is referencing. From the nothing comes the absolute. The one is the absolute, Akid. The nothing is bohu, which is the void. All right. Now, this shirt, I haven't worn it. It's absolutely like birth, Christine. Absolutely like birth. And that's key, because that's where I'm about to go. Because personally, I am in a birthing phase right now. So let me tell you what this is leading up to. So I made this design last year,
but I haven't been wearing it for some months. And I came back and added this is a 13 with a crown on it, and that crown says God. Over here, you see the 13 to the power of God, generator, operator, destroyer. Almost tapping into that mathematic, like when you what they call that, exponents, so 13 to the power of God. Now, so yes, I got these. When I got these two, I put them on my heat press yesterday, and I pressed up some shirts. So this one has just been pressed up yesterday. Now, my mother, as I've said many times, my mother is living with us now. So we gave my mother the master bedroom downstairs. So my wife and I are living upstairs in like one of the other rooms. I took my shirt off. I put it on to try it on, see how it looked. And I took it off and I laid it on the bed. Now, this morning, about 3 something in the morning, my wife gets up at like 3 something to get ready for work. I hear water sloshing and I hear something dripping. Turns out the toilet, which is right next to the room we're in, had flooded. Nothing was in it. It's not like it was backed up. Just for some strange reason, the toilet overflows. Now, we're going to get into the astrology because this lines up with the astrology. There's 5 planets in water right now. We got Mercury at the anaretic degree, 29 of Scorpio. Mars is at 25 of Scorpio. The sun is at 5 of Scorpio. Saturn's at 25 of Pisces. Neptune, 29 of Pisces. And Jupiter at 24 of water. This is a ridiculous amount of water. So this is a great literal astrological phenomenon here where the toilet overflows and Scorpio rules over restrooms. Okay. So we got a 3-planet stellium in Scorpio and boom, the toilet overflows. But I'm attributing something else to that too because of the timing of it. So the floor got soaked. It's soaked. So this thing must have been running. I don't know when it started overflowing. It had to be while we were sleeping. So it had overflowed down the hallway, started almost into the family room, the game area upstairs, and started to flood, and the carpet was soaked in our room. The water stopped. So my bed, at the foot of my bed, I got the shirt laying on the foot of the bed. The water stops right there at the shirt. That's how far the water came. So the over rational thinker would say, oh, it just so happened, and you're pulling straws, blah, 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 grasping for straws or whatever. The reason, but for my audience, who I know is in the know, the reason you study is always so it can be applied in real time. Now this is, here my wife getting ready for work, and when she leaves, I take second shift because I got to get up. I had to train a client at 5. I got a lady I train virtually. Had to train her at 5. Then as soon as I get done with her, I got to get up, get the kids breakfast ready, get them out the door to school. So for this to happen can be like, oh man, this is some frustrating shit, so frustrating. The purpose of study, though, is so you can be an alchemist. Because by having already been into this world that I'm in, the average person would not make this correlation. It's as if the water came right up to the shoreline. My shirt was the shoreline. and the water came right up to it. Ding, 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 to let me know that that was activated. Because the waters came from the deep. Bohu means the void, the deep, the abyss, chaos. Now, we may be thinking, I don't need no more chaos in my life, but this is what this in from an occult metaphysical standpoint. There is no creation without chaos. Chaos is what creation comes out of. The happenings this morning was a direct display of what I just said. We are no longer speculative in our studies and spiritual research. This is the time of application. You cannot just read books, watch YouTube videos, watch TikTok videos, look at Instagram reels, and get your fix. You must be in the lab experimenting. This is real-time application and experimentation. So I ran through the gamut. I say, oh shit, I'm the one. First, it was like, damn, I put this shirt on and look what just, so I had that point, the human side, like, look what I just did. Then the other side was like, whoa, wait a minute. No, I just got a direct line and communication of activation of a sigil. Because if I didn't explain this, ain't nobody gonna be able to just look at this and figure this out unless I explain it. But I know the agreement I made with my intuit with at a what my what's the term? My intent. I knew what my intent was when I made this shirt. So this was a direct response. Now, when I first did this shirt was last year. So I'm gonna bring you in on something else. I've been hitting around about something for almost a year. I've been saying I'm working on something. I'm working on some stuff. I'm working. Well, today you see scrolling down on the ticker, you see circle-oflife.com. Go to circle-oflife.com. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can share this. And I'm going to bring all this home. Let me see. How do I share here on StreamYard? I know I got to remember how I go to share. I'm accustomed to doing Zoom, but I know I can share my screen some type of way. I want to show you because I'm very thrilled about what we're working on. Let's see here. How do I share? I know there's a way. I think I was supposed. Oh, here we go. Image, video file, share screen. Okay. And where is it at? Where are you at? Here we go. So you should be able to see what I have up here now. This is what we've been working on. This is the soft launch of the Circle of Life. The Circle of Life Total Wellness. Scan, learn, act. Okay. Now, what this endeavor, and I have to speak carefully, this gives you insight into your inner world, literally. not figuratively, not speculatively, literal, specifically, individually, customizably. This gives you insight into your inner world. Your organs are energy transfer stations. They are oscillating, they are vibrating, they are communicating. And we have been working with technology. We have several types of technology we're using, but the two main stars, one allows us to energetically scan your being from head to toe. And we're able to, what it does is, it is using something called etalons. And these are basically, in a nutshell, it's shining light on your inner world, which is what is happening right now in the cosmos with all this energy in water. Water is highlighting the inner properties of the mind. We normally associate emotion with water, but what is emotion? Emotion is the movement of mental processes. Emotion gives us access to that portion of the mental processes that are tucked away, called the subconscious. This device is able to probe the subconscious, and then it gets to the core or the essence of your being, which is the fundamental and foundational way that ancient man approached wellness. It was approached at a level of harmonics, resonance, frequency. And this is what we're doing. So this scan that we can do remotely, and this landing page is set up specifically for remote work. Now, how is this possible? Through quantum entanglement. Whenever two particles share the same space, they are forever quantumly entangled. You are forever quantumly entangled with your mother. And for that matter, with your DNA, no matter how far you venture. This is why your mama can call you sometimes with no precursor. Just call you and just say, something told me to call you. There used to be times, this is why I don't have no hesitation to look after my mother, because when my mother was in North Carolina and we were down here and going to Walmart and paying rent with the overdraft, sometimes she would just call and say, something just told me to call. I sent you, go to Western Union. I sent you $150. I sent y'all $200 just out the blue. And so I'm the type with Saturn and Leo, I'm not going to share a lot, and I'll suffer before I'll say, oh, I need some help. I'm not going to go and every time I stump my toe, Mama, I stumped my toe, I'm going to suck it up. Right. So it's not like she was prompted by her saying, Mom, we're having a hard time. It just out the blue. That's quantum entanglement, because I shared space with her vessel. There's a communication that goes on unbeknownst to us. It's subconscious. So therefore, we are able to take the smallest piece of your DNA and see a book on you. And that small piece of DNA preferably is a fingernail. And I mean, it can be a little tiny slither. And we take that DNA and it sits on a little sticker like this, right? And we take that DNA and we put it inside of the devices that we have. And you will be on live with me. And we do a live via Zoom, a live session, and you'll see it unfold. And you'll see this ain't no poppycock, because this thing, it's a live total body scan done via Zoom. It gives you insight into food, mineral, and vitamin recommendations, not generalized, but as it is measuring light code frequency within your vessel through your DNA, which is a fingernail, which is quantumly entangled to you. We actually, based on the energetic layout of your body, can tell you what crystals are. Look, this is the game changer. This is Uranus in Gemini. This is Pluto in Aquarius. This is the future, is now. We can tell you what crystals best align with your vessel. Like I said, not through speculation, but specific to you. Personalized health insights and wellness recommendations. I am not a medical professional. I am not a licensed medical practitioner. We only give basic educational information. This is, for the record. But insight, this is the game changer. This is the real game changer. Insight into emotions and their correlations to health issues. Detection of frequency patterns, allergens, and toxins that may affect your well-being. Listen. I guarantee you have never seen or experienced anything like this. So all this time when I've been missing from doing all these astrological delineations and keeping up, my business has suffered, my astrology business, because social media helps keep your business moving. You keep putting out content, you stay on people's mind. Somebody going through something like, you know what? I need to get a reading right now. All that has been put on the shelf because I knew there was something else that I was working on that was going to be fully encompassing, but it required my time and my attention. I've been giving hints. I've been telling people mastery. So I've been taking my own medicine. So over this past year, just what I've been quietly working on. Quietly. Scorpio is what is done in the dark. Scorpio is secrets. So I've been keeping this secret. I've been giving little hints to people who are closer to me, but they never knew fully what this thing was all about. We had a stomach bug go through the house last week. We didn't take no medicine. My son had it. My wife had it. Let me see. She had it first. My son had it. My youngest had it. My mama had it. It got me last. And it shut me down. I was so proud that I was able to sit back there in this chair and my son came in here and did a scan on me and found what pathogen was bothering me intestinally, scanned my stomach, and then I was able to take that. Certain details I can't go fully into online because the powers that were, but I'll say this: through frequency and drinking anise tea and Tulsi tea, that's all I did, and slept, I recovered. No Imodium, no Pepto-Bismol, no going to the doctor, no allopathic, nothing. And then I was able to take my DNA. I have another device where I can, once I discover what is the imbalance, I can then take that same DNA, put it in another device, and I send frequency had it running 24 hours, sending frequency to go in and subdue the intruder that was disrupting my microbial, my microbiome, disrupting the balance. Mind blowing. And all of this is just my fingernail, because my fingernail is quantumly entangled to my vessel. Now, if you have some type of chronic issue, then the star of this, I still say, is the emotional data that this can pull. There are so many people who were abused as children. I'm use this as an example. Sexually abused. That does not just go away. A particular person I was working with, or we've been working with, they're close to us, has had this ongoing, lingering issue with not being able to release, hoarding things, abusive food consumption. Now, this device was able to go in and find that, okay, yeah, there are things going on in some imbalances in the digestive area, but it was able to go with each part of your body. It goes in and identify the emotions that are stored. And it's very esoteric. It'll just throw a word up. And then you have to, so this stuff comes down to the practitioner. You need someone who's intuitive, someone who's also studied, and who has a wide array to consider when taking in this stuff. One of the things that showed up for her, it just said, uncle. We keep talking, and it turns out that her uncle took some very inappropriate liberties when she was a child. So a lot of things we're doing at the surface level. You talking about shadow work? You want to have something that actually invites you to sit with and integrate the shadow and to release. This is also what this does. Because when we talk about emotion, especially right now, with so much water in the cosmos, we are being thrust into understanding, and I don't like the word confronting, but coming face to face with this word we throw around called shadow. What is a shadow? It is the residue of life. It's the residue of collective life. Your shadow can also include like other people's existences that have been, because it's DNA, and it lives in the DNA. In many instances, I'm working with someone and it goes layer by layer. And if it's something that's deep enough, sometimes you find yourself at a chromosomal level that it's analyzing. And that lets you know that there's something that may be living in your bloodline. And then it gives you the opportunity to be the Christ figure in your bloodline. And what does that mean? To resurrect, to heal at the heart level, the heart chakra. This is why when you look at the tree of life, this is why Tiferet is so important. The sixth Sephirah. because it is in contact with everything. Everything touches Tiferet, Kether, Hokmah, Bina, Chesed, Gevor, Netzik, Hod, Yesod, Malkuth. They all touch Tiferet. And Tiferet is symbolized through the sun. And what is the sun in astrology? Leo. What is Leo associated with? The heart. And many times imbalances in the body come down to its absolute value, the heart. There's something that has been done that has damaged the heart, if you want to say chakra. But the heart, period. The heart not only gives off the greatest electromagnetic field in the body, not the brain, the heart, but deeper than the electromagnetic field, the heart produces scalar energy. Scalar is bohu, the void, 0 point, where everything converges. So, as you can see, I'm excited. I'm excited. I've been sitting on it. I've been working quietly. I've been wanting to say it. I've been wanting. It's like, no. And so this morning, when all this hell is breaking loose, it just so happens that my web developer, they're up working. How do I know? Because they definitely don't open up at 6 something in the morning. But at 6 something this morning, I get this email. Hello, Jamal. Congratulations. Your landing page for circleoflife.com is now live and fully accessible. That came at 6:27 a.m. And at 6:27 a.m., I'm huffing and puffing in the kitchen. I'm getting their breakfast. I'm telling them, come on, get your socks on. Come on, finish eating. You know, we're trying to get out the door because I'm thinking, I got to go to Home Depot. I gotta take the shop vac upstairs. I gotta try to vacuum up as much water as I can. Go to Home Depot. Me and my mama, we're going to get 6 dryers to put down. That's all this noise in the house because I got 6 dryers around here trying to dry. But at that time, email comes at 6:27, letting me know that what I'm showing you right now is live. Sidebar. When so many people I see on the internet announce the idea, they announce every idea, every inspiration. And what it does is you leak energy. We have auric fields. And even if people don't mean you any harm, when you announce things too early, it is almost equivalent to having a premature birth. The baby has not fully developed yet, right? And every time you give up this information, you are jeopardizing the baby's life. You as hard as it is, you got to learn that when you have inspiration or idea, you need to be quiet and quietly work. And you might have to watch people all around you doing their thing and boom, boom, boom. You're like, damn, you get discouraged. Life keeps lifing, right? But you have to work. Magic, true magic, is done in silence. This that we're talking about today, hold on. I'm just gonna have to deal with the noise. It's getting hot as hell in here with this door closed. This that I'm telling you about today was birthed last year in the fall because we were going to practitioners who provided a similar service. And we just, my wife and I are not slow. We're pretty sharp. So we're looking at the process and we're looking at the people, and we're like, they don't live this life. It's like it's a hustle. And we're just sitting thinking, like, we think about our combined skill set. It's like, shit, we could be doing, and you know how you just have stuff in passing conversation. Shit, we could do this, and they had us come and do a session one time, and we knew the device was not hooked up correctly. And we said, you know what, this is just some bullshit. So we started talking, and we had some friends over for Thanksgiving last year, and that's when the word was launched. It says in John 1:1, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Make no bones about it. The words are powerful. The thought and then the word is powerful, which is why you must only utter certain words around certain people. These words were uttered in private. And in less than a year, we have been working, and we are now to the point where it's like, I can bring it to the stage and let you know we are open for business. Now, on my site, on 720 Astrology, I told, I don't know, about a week ago, I said, I am now doing health and wellness readings on my site, because all of this ties in together. When the complete website is done for circleoflife.com, which should be in November, you will see that I will have the availability for you to get a full package that includes a reading, scan, coaching, a host of things. We're also going to be having a detox. That'll be a remote detox. That'll be coming up. Winter solstice. A winter solstice detox. And I'll be talking about that as it approaches. But that's definitely something that you want to consider. And it won't just be it's going to be information that you will receive that will be priceless, that you can put in the tuck for you to keep as you go on throughout your journey. And that's why this has been so slow, because great things develop slowly. In this energy that we're in right now, like I said, Jupiter, 24 of Cancer, Neptune, 29 of Pisces, Saturn, 25 of Pisces, Mercury, 29 of Scorpio, Mars, 25 of Scorpio. There is an abundance of emotional energy in the air. Mercury is in a shadow phase right now because it will station retrograde in Sagittarius. I don't have the exact date in mind right now. It might be next week. So in other words, it's going to come back over this point. The danger we run right now is with so much water and so many things. What does water do? Water washes, water purifies, water carries, water conducts electricity. It is what the spark needs to travel. So collectively, we got to be careful about how we handle situations that will come up, especially in this season. It's very easy. Just because things are in a trine does not necessarily mean that it's always favorable. we may be too inclined right now to dip into our emotional wells or reservoir because it's just so readily available. You know, even drinking water, there's a point where it's too much water to drink to where you oversaturate your organs and tissue and it becomes like caustic. Not caustic, but toxic. You drown out. It's too much. Everything has a limit. So we have to be careful about being overrun by emotion and not allowing rational thinking to be applied, especially with the fact that Venus in Libra at 18 in Libra is in an applying opposition to Chiron at 24 of Aries. Now, wherever Chiron is, we know that we hear a lot about Chiron is a wound and da da da, but Chiron is a centaur. So it carries a signature of Jupiter in Sagittarius because Sagittarius is a centaur. So wherever Chiron is, we are searching for truth. And the wound that we always talk about with Chiron, well, what is it for? It is because it's a truth that needs to be discovered about what? In Aries, about self. Where Chiron is where we have a search for truth, Jupiter, a higher order, Jupiter. It is where we have great expectations, Jupiter. And so as Venus keeps applying in this opposition, it may be reflecting back to us things about ourselves that we may not like to see. And as Jupiter gets into that opposition with Chiron, it will also be in conjunct and a square to Jupiter. So here's where our emotions can swell and we just lose our head. And then as Mercury moves retrograde, we're going back over and looking back over some territory that we have burnt down or blown up or demolished because we expected something and we didn't get it, or we don't like what we see and we're lashing out. We are projecting because Venus in Libra is providing the mirror to show us something about ourselves. So this is the energy that we're in right now. We also have Neptune now is back in Pisces. So it's given us an opportunity to do a last phase of purification because it brings back those things of isolation and fear and self-imprisonment, self-destruction that can sometimes happen with this Pisces energy. And it gives us an opportunity to purge, to cleanse, to dilute. Dilution is important because things are become concentrated in Aries. And the concentrated energy, which is a seed in Aries, goes through a process of learning, and then it must be diluted before a new concentration can emerge. The movement of Neptune back into Pisces is the opportunity to dilute previous cycles and to give us a chance to reemerge as a new something, a new self. So we've got to Be careful how we tread. Now, everything ain't all tense and negative, because let's understand that Jupiter and Saturn are working through a cycle, just those two, that they began back in 2020. Do you remember in 2020, everybody was talking about the Great Conjunction? This is the dawn of Aquarius, right? You know, the Bethlehem star, Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius, starting a new 800, brought an end to an 800-year cycle, a 200-year cycle. There were all these cycles. It was a new 20-year cycle. All of those converged with Jupiter and Neptune because they were conjoining in air, which they had only done previously in early 80s in Libra. It made their conjunction made one dip into Libra, but they had been in, I think, in Earth signs previously. And so we might have kind of forgotten about that we've had a million different storylines have come out since then. But these two are still dancing in that synodic cycle that they started back in 2020. Now, planets will be conjunct. The faster moving planet, which is Jupiter in this case, will keep moving. And guess what we had? We had a square. The square was 2024 into 2023 into 2024. We had to deal with the square between Jupiter and Saturn. So go back to the mythology. In the mythology, Saturn, which is time, tried to wipe out. Hold on, I smell something. All right, false alarm. So Saturn, time, Chronos, tries to basically eat his child, which is Jupiter. Jupiter is the law. So if Saturn would have been successful in consuming his son, then that would have meant that the law would have always been trapped in time. But because Rhea took Jupiter and hid him in a cave and then gave Saturn a rock to eat instead, that means that the law, the higher law, the philosophy, natural law, is always outside the boundaries of time. And so we had the constraints of 3D reality putting the clamp down on the vision and the truth of Jupiter while they were in a square. And to make it worse, Jupiter was debilitated in Gemini while Saturn was in Pisces squaring. And Saturn is ultra pessimistic in Pisces because it's dealing with the reality of things coming to an end. But now, with Saturn moving back into Pisces and Jupiter advancing through Cancer in its dignity, now the law and time are in resonance with each other. So although all types of chaos can be going on in the world, you can still be magically working with this energy because a new law and a new timeline are emerging. Saturn and Jupiter are going to continue their dance because Jupiter's got to move retrograde as Saturn moves back direct, and they're going to meet up again in fire signs in 2026, around about the summer. Saturn will be in Aries, Jupiter will be in Leo. And this new law will show up as a new identity. This new harmony between time and law, natural law, shows up as a new identity. So there is reason to stay the course right now. And if anybody, listen, if anybody can, when I tell you, I'm not saying this from no speculation. I'm telling you, it is see it through. How do we utilize this trine right now? I've talked about the negative of this being engulfed in emotion. Well, how can we utilize it? Well, when Mars is in Scorpio, Mars is not an idiot. Mars is a more seasoned Mars who is fighting for a cause, fighting for what is passionate for. And it's more careful. It's not as reckless. Mars in Aries is reckless. Mars in Scorpio, Scorpio is a fixed energy. This time Mars says, I understand I'm the god of war, but I want to make sure I win this war. So let me sit back and plot carefully. Mercury in Scorpio invites us to go into the depths and to not dwell at the level of surface. And that's kind of the danger when Mercury is in Libra. It's amicable, it's amiable, it's agreeable. But in Scorpio, it wants to get down to the brass tacks. But we got to be careful as it makes this transition into Sagittarius that it doesn't go run off too quick, because it's trying to get to something way down the road and it runs into 12 cars on the way trying to get there. If we can mitigate that, then this is a great configuration for your intuition, spiritual inclination, inner sight to expand. Saturn in Pisces with Neptune. If we can mitigate this fight between reality and illusion, to not be overburdened by, oh, this is the way it is. This is how it's just, which is Saturn, versus, oh, everything's fine. Neptune, if we can mitigate those two and we allow space for intentional imagination, daydreaming with a purpose, spiritual insight becoming practical application, we got something to carry forward into the new world, which is Aries. Aries is always new. And if Jupiter, the great benefic, is not squandered in Cancer by being overly engulfed into emotion just for the sake of emotion, but if we use emotion as a realization that abundance is not something that is exclusive, abundance is all around us, then we got something. We got something. This square between Jupiter and Chiron right now, Jupiter's at they were in an exact square I guess a day or two ago, but they're still pretty much partile. Chiron's at 24 retrograde, 24 degrees, 21 minutes. Jupiter's at 24 degrees, 50 minutes of Cancer. They're in a square, and Jupiter's in an opening square to Chiron. Squares are of the nature of Mars, and Mars is about action. But what type of action here? This is an action around learning, because Chiron takes on some of the signification of Jupiter, and Jupiter is Jupiter. So there's a crisis of philosophy here. There's a crisis of truth. And we actually got a grand cardinal cross right now. The moon's at 26 as I'm speaking, and with Venus at 18. So what type of action? What are we initiating out of all of this watery energy? Are we initiating at the level of primal urge from a root chakra, which the root chakra is necessary just as much as crude oil is necessary? But are we staying at that level in how we are vibrating? Or are we taking it and transmuting it? Just some things to think about. Going back to where I started with the shirt, the void is Scorpio in one regard, because the void, when you think about a toilet, when you do your business and you flush, you're sending that into a void. And that place where everything collects, as nasty as we think it is a place of convergence. There are bacteria and other pathogens and other things, and those things contain the essence of life. When you look up the word Scorpio etymologically, it means life. Now, astrologically, we often associate the word death with Scorpio. But Scorpio sits in conjunct to the first house, Aries, which is the emergence of life, the I that starts as an identity, and I am. But in conjunct is the realization that the I am must eventually die and become something new. So Scorpio season invites us to understand what it means to be renewed, revigorated, resurrected, if you will. Scorpio is the scorpion, it's the eagle, it's the phoenix. It's the eagle because it's serious, it's piercing, it is an exacting hunter. At its lowest level, it's the scorpion because it's insecure and it will sting whatever gets around it, even to its own demise. But at its highest level, it is the phoenix, which is possessing the ability to go into a burning flame of descent and out of those ashes to reemerge. That's the true power of Scorpio. The true power of Scorpio is death has no power. There is only one thing, and it's life. Where in your life right now are you being invited to have the courage to transform? Where are you being invited to let something die? And understanding that the word die means give and receive. Etymologically, to die means to give and receive. Where do you need to let go of something or some things so that you can yet live or receive new life? All these things are on the table right now. And at the end of the day, it's all beautiful. It's all beautiful. So for those in the chat, if you feeling this shirt, 13 God, All of the stuff I'm talking about is encompassed in this symbology. 13 to the power of God, generator, operator, destroyer. The ability to generate, cardinal, to operate, fixed, and to destroy, mutable. So we got on the side. Crown, and then the master computer. If you're feeling that, put shirt in there so I can see if maybe just see how y'all feel about that. Again, this is the other shirt, and this is gonna be another website. I'm gonna keep everything separate, so I'll be having a new website I'll be launching. You see, when Neptune moves back into Aries, I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. We become more porous, right? And we become more affected by our surroundings. So this is a way of responding back to a very caustic environment that we're in right now. The environment's very acidic. Anger is the new currency. And I got to find the brother who said this on TikTok so I can give him his propers. He said, we've moved from a new currency. It was fear, but the new currency is anger. Aries. And Neptune, we don't know where to direct the anger because Neptune fuses and confuses and blurs the lines. So this is a form of protection. Because in a world full of low vibration energy, I want to be the 13th piece. I want to be the one. I am the one. So, okay, thank y'all. Thank you. All right, thank you. I'm glad y'all digging it. I will keep you posted. These are going to be coming out. Meanwhile, if you haven't, go over and take a gander at circle-oflife.com. And I am so excited. I'm just so excited about the work that has been done and the work that is yet to come. And I want to read, let's see, let's do this. I want to read a testimonial or two of them off of some people we worked with. First, let's read these testimonials. I must admit, quote, I must admit that I didn't know what to expect with Circle of Life. The scan was truly, let me say this first, because how do I have testimonials before I made an official lunch? Because people I know personally, some people who I know closer, I extended the hand to come and experience this. Okay. I got two more testimonials I'm waiting on. So we've done a lot of, this is nothing that I'm coming out with and I just got this and I went and found a machine. I'm like, oh man, I can make some money with this. No, this has been in the laboratory. I've used it on my mother, the people I love the most, my mama, my wife, my children. I've used it on my one of my teenagers for volleyball, hurt her knee. I've used PMF coil on her knee, but that's something that has to be done in person. But in the absolute values, I've been using this stuff. I'm not speculating. As a matter of fact, I probably should display this on the website. This is a certificate. Let's see. That I earned. This says this certificate is proudly awarded to Jamal Robinson. Certifies that he has successfully completed the bioresonance training course. And so I went out and sought out someone out of this country, basically. And we invested money and hours. I sat with this lady and she trained me on how to use at least the main scan machine. So, a lot of things I still got to keep under the cuff, but this is not speculation. So this is why I have these testimonials. Quote, I must admit that I didn't know what to expect with Circle of Life. The scan was truly paramount. There were things I had been dealing with for a while that I didn't fully understand, where they came from or how to resolve them. The scan gave me clear insights into what I needed to do and outlined progressive, actionable steps to address those areas. I appreciated that it allowed me to focus on the top 3 priorities rather than feeling overwhelmed by everything at once. That focus alone made a huge difference. Another major benefit was that the scan could even be run via proxy, so I didn't have to physically be at a specific location to experience it. I'm looking forward to future scans and continuing this journey. For now, I'd absolutely recommend Circle of Life to everyone. It has brought awareness to things I didn't realize were affecting me and helped highlight both what's wrong and where there's opportunity for growth. Now, that's the wife. This is her husband. And we know how men, we tend to be a lot more skeptical and stubborn. And he's even going to allude to that. I'll be honest, I was skeptical. I've spent years in governance and risk management, so I tend to approach anything new with a healthy dose of scrutiny. When I first heard about Circle of Life, I wasn't sure what to expect of it. A scan that could pinpoint energetic imbalances and offer actionable insights, I had questions. But after experiencing it firsthand, I'm a believer. The scan didn't just surface vague ideas, it gave me clarity on issues I've been wrestling with for a while. Things I couldn't quite name or trace suddenly had definition. And more importantly, the scan laid out a practical roadmap to address them. It didn't overwhelm me with everything at once. It helped me focus on the top 3 priorities, which made the process feel manageable and strategic. One feature that really stood out was the ability to run the scan remotely via proxy. That flexibility made it accessible without compromising impact. As someone who leads global teams and drives strategic initiatives, I've come to realize that wellness isn't optional, it's foundational. You can't lead effectively if you're not well. Circle of Life helped me reconnect with the truth. It brought awareness to areas I hadn't realized were affecting me physically, emotionally, and energetically. It helped me see not just what needed attention, but where there was room for growth. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey, and I'd recommend it to anyone who's open to exploring new ways to understand and optimize their well-being, especially those in leadership, because being a strong leader starts with being a healthy one. All right. So those are our testimonials that we have at the moment. Many more to come. I cannot do this justice. You will have to experience it. There are so many things that so many avenues are open. And this incorporates the left and right hemispheres of the brain. This is real life magic. not spectacle, not um, what's the word? Speculative, but real applied magic and science. Science is magic. Quantum physics has now validated magic. Now, in this process, there's a level of trust that is required, because if I can take a fingernail and harmoniously respond, obviously I could negatively respond. So if there's any consideration about working with me and us, our company, then I would say consider my track record and consider the energy that you felt thus far when you see me, when you hear me, when you feel me. Do I feel like a con artist? Do I feel like someone who lacks integrity? Have I not talked about how much the suffering has been? And you suffer, integrity invites suffering. Because you're going to have to suffer if you feel like you're trying to do what you think is right. Which is why I didn't rush into this. I said, and mind you, I didn't always want to. I don't naturally have a lot of patience. But I've learned a greater deal of patience in this process, because I'm learning more and more that when spirit slows something down, don't try to force it. And I'm so happy that when I first wanted to get this thing up and running, I was not able. Because the amount that I have learned and seen, I got to know without a shadow of doubt that what I'm doing is what it is before I can even. So you got to see it work yourself. And it is mind blowing. This is the future. The future is now. And so, final note, with all this energy in Scorpio, especially with Mars there, which Mars is inflammatory, pay attention to your colon, pay attention to your intestines, pay attention to how you care for them. This may be a great time for a colonic session, to show some love to your digestional tract. Pay attention to Saturn as it is conjunct Neptune in Pisces. You want to be careful about your lymphatic system, the blood, and things, nutrients being held back or restricted with Saturn conjunct Neptune in Pisces. You want to pay attention to your nervous system. B vitamins are very important. Pay attention to your liver as Mercury moves into this opposition with Uranus. What else? That's just off the top of the head, things I can think about. But on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm going to give you 2 sites that you need to take a visit to. Always 720astrology.com. Visit the landing page, circle-of-life.com. If you have questions, you can email me at info@circle-of-life.com regarding the scan. If you got questions about any astrological questions, you can email me at info@720astrology.com. And on that note, I'm going to say peace. Remind you to stay down until you get up. And when you get up, stay down. And always know the stars to know yourself. Peace. By the way, let me say peace to everybody. It came in Straight Panther, peace. Tiger Lily, peace. Tiffany, peace. Poison Polish, peace. My man, my homie BK, peace. BK said, can we start a new course? Yo, man, hit me up. Let me email me. Tell me what you're talking about. Specifically, which type of course. And, you know, everything is possible. You know, I think I covered everybody. Divine rights, peace. All right. On that note, y'all be easy, be well, be powerful, be magical. Peace.